What's going on, guys? Mackenzie Long here. So today we're talking about financial freedom step by step, and we are going through the 7 money milestones in the book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. And today is specifically around money milestone number 6 in building wealth. Now, the reason why I love this book, outside of all the publicity that it's gotten, it's been on TV hundreds of times. It's become the #1 best-selling personal finance book. I've had tons of success with it with our clients and our agents. But really the reason why I love this book so much, the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, is that it's really simple. It takes about an hour and a half to read. It's a lot of fun. It's enjoyable, and you'll actually learn a lot in the process as well. And I've had great people, and I've had people of all different walks of life comment on it, whether they were very successful financially. We've done work with all kinds of businesses and churches and schools and individuals around this best-selling book. And it's just a great place to start for everybody. Whether you've been doing it for a while and you need to understand where you're at and where to go next, or maybe you're brand new to all of it and you need to get your financial education, this book is a great way to be able to do it. And if you want to purchase one of your own books, you can do that. You can find them on Amazon. I'll have a link that's down below if you want to use that. And they range between $17 and $26 depending on the promotion that's going on, and it's well worth it on your financial journey. Now, if you want me to pay for it, we are doing a booked up event where we have spent over $50,000 in purchasing books and other resources that we are giving away to our community. This is not a YouTube thing or a social media thing. This is something that we are specifically doing. It's not a contest, where we have purchased all these resources and we want to be able to give them out in a way to be able to help people become more financially literate. So if that's something that you might be interested in, there is a link down below. It will take you to a third-party site that's called MailChimp, and MailChimp just helps collect information. It's basically a data correlating center where you put your information in there, and that way we can reach out to you. We will send you an email, and if we don't hear back from you via email, we'll also reach out to you via phone call. And the reason for that is obviously we'll need to get some additional information on where to send these resources to you, and we would love to be able to do that if you would like to join us. Now, we're only going to be doing this for the month of August 2022, so if you're seeing this after that, sorry, I don't know, maybe we'll do another one. I don't know, we'll see what happens when that time comes. But today we are going to be talking about money milestone number 6 in this process of building wealth. Now, there's a lot to cover today, and I'm going to try to do it in about 15 minutes, so this is going to feel fairly rushed because these are concepts that we could spend probably an hour talking about them, or half an hour a piece probably, and we're going to try to cram 3 or 4 of these guys into about 15 minutes. So we're going to go really fast, but the beautiful part is because it's a recorded video, you can go back and watch it as many times as you need to be able to get what you need out of it. So what has changed over the last few years that has made it so difficult for people to be able to retire? Well, if we think back, retirement used to be really simple to plan for because you worked until 65, you died at 67 or 68, you generally had a pension and some Social Security, and that about took care of everything we needed. And so that was easy to plan for, but now that has really changed. And statistically speaking, they say for couples today, it's a 50% chance that you or your spouse or your significant other will live past the age of 95. Now that's a huge deal. That means even if we wait a long time, if we wait till the age of 72, we're not talking about retiring early here, we are going to spend almost 23 to 25 years in retirement. So just to do some quick math, pull out your phone, put in whatever your income is or what you would like your income to be, multiply that by 25, and that's the starting point, not including taxes or inflation, of what you need to have saved by the time you plan on retiring. So obviously that's a big goal and some important things that we need to understand along the way, and we will talk more about what I mean by inflation and what inflation is, and taxes. It's going to be a lot, so put on your seatbelt and let's go. So let's first start with the 4 disciplines that I think are required that the book recommends that you have in order to be able to hit your goals. The first one is to make sure you save regularly, and I recommend doing it automatically. Have it just automatically come out. As soon as your paycheck hits, you should be saving yourself first. You should be moving a portion of that money to specifically pay you first. Number 2 is you're going to want to check on this. You don't need to be looking at it every single day or every single paycheck, but you do need to be checking on it at least annually. I recommend probably quarterly or every 6 months so that you can see if you're on track and make adjustments. Number 3 is don't spend until you hit your goals. That keep running through your target instead of setting yourself back all the time. I see that happen a lot. Number 4 is don't forget to make adjustments as your life changes. When you add an additional kid or you get married or things change in your life, you make more money, don't forget to change the other areas of your financial life as well. Instead of increasing your lifestyle, make sure you're increasing your savings as well. The next things that we're going to talk about are really the 4 biggest hurdles when it comes to building wealth. The first one is going to be procrastination. It's going to be your monkey brain telling you that you have plenty of time and that you can wait a couple years and dilly-dally this. And that just simply is not the case. Really, the difference between retiring or not is the difference of a couple $100s a month over a long period of time. And if we really understood that when we first started working, it would make a night and day difference for people. You do not have the time to procrastinate. Start doing it now. It might be smaller than you want it to be, but start building that habit now. Number 2 is going to be inflation. Inflation is robbing your money every single year. And we're seeing record high inflation right now, over 9%. Most people have no idea what that means, but it basically means at 9% that if you had $1 million sitting in the bank and you lost 9% of it, let's round to 10. So basically, because we're probably going to hit that anyway, your $1 million is actually worth $900,000. That means in 1 year, you lost $100,000 by your money sitting in the bank. That's not lost because the market went down. That's simply the devaluation of your money over time. Now imagine doing that for the course of 20 or 30 years until you're actually ready to retire. So the important point here to understand is we've got to get a good enough rate of return to not just outpace inflation, but also to get this thing to grow. And number 3 is understanding loss. I think one of the biggest challenges that we've seen is that people don't understand what it costs to actually lose and have to start over. And we're seeing a lot of this with crypto and NFTs, and whether you like them or not, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is people oftentimes try to get a big score. They're the gamblers, or at least that's how they're viewed in the financial world. When you talk to the Warren Buffetts and those kinds of guys, these are the people who hope to hit it big, but chances are they're probably not going to, instead of getting slow, consistent growth over a long period of time. And that's the way success has been built for many, many generations. So that's the way to do it. Doesn't mean you don't try for those other things, but you shouldn't necessarily bet the farm on it. So when you understand that, and here's a quick example. If you have $100 and you lose 50%, if your account drops 50%, you now have $50. So how much do you need to get back to 100? Most people would say, well, if I have a negative 50, I need to get a positive 50. The challenge is 50% growth on $50,000 is only $75,000. The challenge is a 50% growth on $50 is only $75, meaning that you'd have to get 100% growth on your $50 to get back to being even. Now, that doesn't mean you should be afraid of it and you should take no risks, but simply understanding that the really risky stuff might not want to do your bread and butter with that. Better to make sure you're going to get there and hope to get there faster than to put it all on that and hope that you make it. And number 4 that we're going to be talking about is taxes. Now we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper, but obviously we've got to keep it fairly short. So the beautiful part is the government allows us to choose how we pay our taxes. And a lot of people will get mad because some people don't pay a lot of taxes. When you really start to understand how money works, and how it's designed to be able to help you save money if you do the things the government wants you to do, or if you avoid certain things that the government doesn't want you to do, you can actually save a lot more money and pay a lot less in taxes. Mostly what we're going to be talking about here now is going to be income taxes. So we get to decide how we're going to pay our income taxes. And the government is pretty clear about this. If we use something like a 401k or an IRA, we are not going to pay taxes on the seed, but we are going to pay taxes on the harvest. So instead of the $10,000 that I put into account, instead of paying taxes on that, I'm going to pay taxes on the $100,000 when I pull it out. Now, most of the time that doesn't sound like a very good idea. However, if maybe you're getting a match through your 401k, then it might make more sense to do that because that match is going to pay some of those taxes. But for most people outside of that match, they will probably want to be looking at something like a tax-free account. Now, a tax-free account is going to be government bonds, which probably are not a good idea right now with tremendously high inflation rates and increasing our rates. It's probably not a good idea right now, but obviously it's an option. You can also do your Roth. Your Roth is you're going to pay income tax on it now. It's going to grow tax-free and then it comes out tax-free. Same thing is going to be true with a permanent life insurance policy. The savings portion inside of a permanent life insurance policy is going to act much like a Roth, except for it doesn't have a lot of the stipulations on it. So it's going to also grow tax-free and come out tax-free. That's why the vast majority of wealthy people use a permanent life insurance to help them with their wealth building process. But as we move closer to retirement, and obviously the next class we'll be talking about is how do we maintain our wealth, how do we preserve our wealth. But in this one, we're talking about as we're getting closer, how do I make sure that I have stable income? And this is a lot of what you're seeing right now. I just released a video not too long ago that was a 60-second piece where they were talking about 401ks, and we're seeing that same exact thing happen right now, where 401ks are tanking. The people who have money in there and are retired are losing lots of money. And it's one thing to say that's going to come back when you are young and you have time. It's another thing to say when you are in retirement and those dollars have depleted and you're still pulling money out. It's not the same exact thing. It's not the same equation. So as you're getting close to retirement, it's important to consider these things because we want to make sure that that income is reliable. So we want to make sure that we still have consistent growth, that we have the potential for growth. We also want to make sure that we reduce or eliminate the ability for loss, and also that our predictable income is going to last. And the way we do that is through understanding our multiple streams of income. So it used to be that we would live off of, we would call it the three-legged stool, and it was basically our personal savings, our Social Security, and our pensions. However, as we know, pensions are pretty much gone. So that means it's mainly reliant on our personal savings, our Social Security, and whatever we can set up as another stream of income here. Now, a lot of what's replaced pensions is the annuity, so that we can take a portion of our money, put it in there, have a pretty consistent, is the annuity so that we can put our money in there and we'll have a consistent stream of income. That way we're not worried about running out of money before we actually retire. That was a lot to go over. I think we did it in about 15 minutes, so good job. And I hope these videos are helpful for you. Make sure you smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button as well. And don't forget to hit the bell because we have some great stuff coming out. We do a new video every single day at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out our giveaway for the books and you fill out that MailChimp link down below so you can get some of those resources and get started on your financial journey, or give it a nice kick in the butt so that you can get this thing moving if you feel fairly stagnant or if you have no idea what to do. I think this book is a fantastic way to be able to do that, and you might as well take my book and get it for free than to pay for one unless you want to. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and I will catch you later. Bye.